Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right. Yeah, everything has changed dramatically at Tennessee. We're on the verge of landing our third five-star quarterback and our second #1 player in the country. We're this close, and it just keeps rolling. I got to say to the Tennessee football fans out there, if you're not happy with this, I don't know what to tell you.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Exactly. Are you not entertained? Folks, we just received our second crystal ball for the #1 player in the country, quarterback Faison Brandon. And you can see right here, he's ranked #1 in the country, #1 quarterback, #1 player in North Carolina, #1 national. And on A to Z Sports by Zach Reagan, he just wrote a story on it. It says momentum continues to build for Tennessee Vols to land the elite five-star recruit. And remember, of course, we started out with Nico Iamaleava, the #1 player in the country in 2023. And I know there was an argument there whether or not Arch Manning was #1 or Nico was #1. Understand Nico was the best player for our team. He fit our offense perfectly. He's a dual threat guy, can run like the wind, and has great touch, terrific arm. And that's what we want in our offense. Arch was not the ideal guy for us. He's much more of a pocket passer. We want a dual threat guy because we spread the field and we use the quarterback to run. So Nico made perfect sense. The next year, following in 2025, we've already got George McIntyre, and he's a five-star out of the state of Tennessee. And we had our choice between him and another really good quarterback, but George McIntyre wound up being exactly who Josh Heupel wanted, and he got him. Well, now we've got our third five-star. This guy happens to be the #1 player in the country. And let's take a look at what's going on here. Talks about continuing momentum for the Tennessee Vols to land this five-star recruit. And here you can see on X that Steve Wiltfong's given a prediction for Faison Brandon. And when Steve Wiltfong gives you a prediction, that's a good one. That's a really, really good one. He's one of those five stars when it comes to recruiting. And there's a handful of them. He's one of them.
But wait, there's more.
That's right, there's more. There's a fellow that goes by the name of Tom Loy of 247, another highly regarded recruiting analyst, and he's put in a crystal ball prediction as well for Tennessee to land Brandon. He said, I probably could have done this the day I first spoke with him when we were dropped the 2026 rankings, and you guys named him the #1 player, #1 quarterback in the country, noted Loy. Tennessee is doing a phenomenal job. He's been on campus a bunch of times. And he's a big dude. He's 6'4", 195 pounds, and he's just going to be a junior this year. And he happens to be from the same city as Vols quarterback Hendon Hooker, and said Hendon has been selling Brandon on playing for Tennessee for a couple of years now. And you can always count on Hendon Hooker to help you out. I swear, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever had. He was, I tell you what, other than Peyton Manning, Hendon's one of my absolute favorites. God, he was so good. And this guy could be very much like him. I'm going to show you some highlights of this dude, and you'll understand why. And by the way, size is a talent. Being 6'4" is ideal to play in the SEC. You can see over those linemen. It's very difficult to play in the SEC at 6 foot or less. It just is. Many of these linemen are 6'7", 6'6". You need to be tall to be able to see over them. And this is on Huddle. These are his highlights, and look at his stats. In 2023, he threw for 3,500 yards. Wait a minute. Hold on. In 2023, he had 3,500 total yards, 3,000 passing, 500 rushing, 45 touchdowns total, 36 passing, 9 rushing. He only had 3 interceptions. He threw almost 70%. Those are fantastic numbers. You can see why he's ranked #1. Now let's watch some of his highlights. Here you can see he's got very nice touch, just right over the cornerback and underneath the safety. Here you'll see another time where he just shows off the arm, and we'll show you and I'll show you his running skills in a minute. Boom, perfect pass. And I know these are highlights, but again, this guy's got a ton of highlights. Now you'll watch him throw a nice little dart here. Boom, right over the linebacker, underneath the safety. That's a very important pass in Tennessee's offense, that touch pass. Here you'll see his running ability. This is what gets me fired up. It's impossible to stop a guy like that. We saw that with Hendon for 2 years. A quarterback that's willing to run is a dangerous weapon. That was a pretty easy one for him. Let me show you a couple of more of his running style. And here you go. Now you'll see him take off. Look at this. Now that right there should have been a sack plus a face mask. And he turns it into that's a perfect Hendon Hooker run, and I'll show you that. And here you'll see him take off. Watch this speed. And this guy's already 200 pounds. He's going to be probably 220, 230 playing for UT. You're talking about a handful to deal with. Jeez, this guy's a nightmare. I'm telling you. Perfect. I mean, perfect for Josh Heupel's offense. You could not draw up, well, Nico, another guy that was perfect for Josh Heupel's offense. And there's a reason why all these 5-stars are flocking to Miramar. I'm sorry, Knoxville. Sometimes I get it confused with Miramar.
The elite, best of the best. We'll make it better.
Yeah, Josh Heupel will make you better. Absolutely. And that's why they're coming, okay? They know they're going to get huge stats. They know they're going to light up the scoreboard, and they're going to be a huge part of the offense and have a lot of success. We also, you need NIL. We have that as well. And you need a chance to win a championship. We obviously have a shot at that. We won 11 games 2 years ago. And even with a modest quarterback that we had last year, we won 9. So, and that's in the SEC.
Okay.
And now that we've got a 12-team playoff, I love Tennessee's odds going forward, especially with the offense that we've got. And our defense just keeps getting better. So that's why all these 5-stars are coming to Tennessee. It's the coach. It's NIL. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's not. And it's the ability to win a championship. And you've got all 3 of those boxes checked. So you get your 5 stars. And I haven't forgotten about Jake Merklinger, who came in 2024, a high 4-star. He reached as high as, I believe, 67th in the country at one time. A very good quarterback, and he came right after the number 1 player in the country, which was Nico. And that's a tough year when you're coming right after the number 1 guy. And who knows? He may end up being tremendous. But I'm primarily focused on the 5 stars right now. All right, folks, and don't forget, we got College World Series coming up. I believe it's Friday at 7 o'clock, our first game against Florida State. We'll be covering that, of course. That's very exciting. This is our opportunity to win a natty. It's down to 8 teams. This is the 3rd time in 4 years that we've made it to the College World Series. And the one year that we didn't, we had the best team we've ever had. That was 2022. That team was almost too good. I think we jinxed ourselves by having maybe a little too much talent.
Winkum, Pinkum, Notimus, Rex. Protect us all from the man with the hex.
But anyway, Friday night, 7 o'clock. Should be very exciting. Anyway, the future's looking good. You better wear shades because things are getting fired up here at UT. And I couldn't be more excited about this new quarterback and these crystal ball predictions. That guy's built for our offense. It's ideal. And that's the way it goes. Look, the rich get richer in football. That's just the way it is. You start showing success, you start putting up ridiculous numbers like Hendon Hooker did for 2 years.
Hi, maybe.
Quarterbacks are going to take notice big time, and that's what they're doing, and that's why we're loading up on the 5 stars. It just is what it is. You're either part of the haves or part of the have-nots. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know continue to cover all these big sports stories. If you've not subscribed, hit this little button right here. It won't cost you a dime. I would certainly appreciate it. And right over here is most recent video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.